Now I seem to recall that this alternator was brought in by a young German couple. They passed by in their camper. We found out it was the alternator that was causing the problems, and it was cheaper to get a new one than it was to rebuild it, so let's find out. So it seems that just this cover's held on by these 3 studs here. They weren't very tight. As I say, alternators aren't exactly my forte, so I don't know what I'm looking at. Oh, there's a regulator, look. Oh, that looks a little chap, doesn't it? Oh, very tiny rotor on there. Slip rings. Oh, let's take it off then. What do we need? The rectifier is easy to get to, and it's got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's interesting. I wonder if that's how they get the amps up. Yeah, how does that come off? Well, there's a little wire on there. That nut there. And then we have the regulator. Oh, I see, there's a little nut. There's a little nut under there. It all started spinning, well that's no big deal. Inside it looks nice. There's no smell of burning. But our problem is now we're going to have to try and find this regulator, but it's got a number on it. IXI127 130012, 12 volts. Now when I get things like this, I'll take a picture of it and blow it up so we can see what it is. I don't think there's anything else wrong with it. There's a little bit of dust in it, but it hasn't done all that many kilometres, you know, and look, it's free as a bird to turn. So I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll just put these bits and pieces back on here so we don't lose them. And then I'll go upstairs with my confuser and we can see if we can find out the parts for this. There was something about it while we got another one, and I can't remember what the hell it was. Yeah, maybe that's the way things go, eh? You're not supposed to do. So what I did was I unsoldered the rectifier here from this alternator, and to my surprise you might just be able to see it in there. There's a break in the circuit. It's broken. I don't think we can replace that without a lot of messing about. Somebody could, I suppose. Somebody who's a lot better than me, and I'm no good anyway. So it could be anybody. So let's set that. You can see they're on sort of like little spring things. They're like a little, almost looks like a fuse. But they are 100 amp, and I mean if it's been overloaded I can understand that. I've been working on one of these 100 amp alternators, and this was purchased, well this was fitted to a German couple's Defender, and it burnt out. One of the little wires in here had gone. The connector diode had gone. So I ordered some parts, and I've got a new rectifier for it, and I've also got, this is the original voltage regulator, but I ordered another one just in case, so I can test this one and see if it's putting any output in. But because this was properly damaged, then it made sense to repair it. And the parts are not very expensive, I think they're about $22. This is a WPS. Model 21, 21 81, I think it is, N, 12 volts. It's very difficult to say with them, but unlike the old magnetic Magrelli alternators, this has got 6 wires instead of 3 on this rectifier pack. So I'm going to fit that right now, but it should be noticed that this side's got some silicone on it, some silicone rubber, but this side here had some heat sink paste. Well, if we never get into this, we'll put some on, because it did get hot and it actually burnt out the alternator, and it burnt a diode out when I get it spluttered out. Yeah, I must have deleted some files. I think I was trying to save some space. So there we are, that's all we need, this little stuff here. So we're going to put a little squidge on, if it comes out. Okay, with the paste on there, we're simply going to line up the pins and drop that on so it is square, like that. Didn't do that the first time. And we've got a myriad of bolts, nuts, washers, and a tube here which I don't know where it goes. No doubt we'll find out. But let's look like those chaps there go onto there. That's too big, so that could have gone on another post. Oh, here we are. There. So let me get some sockets out. We'll tighten that down. So that's all the nuts on. The next thing we're going to do is align these wires up here, and we'll solder them on. Now I think I'll just give these these connectors here just a little nip to keep them in place. And like I say, we'll just solder them with a regular iron, the old-fashioned way. Put that in a bit. Go. Like I say, this rectifier pack was only like $25 plus shipping. Wasn't the end of the world. But the rest, it's done very low mileage. I don't think it's done about, I don't think it's done 6 months work. Now, I haven't, not touching the bearings or anything like that in it, because they were fine. I think what had happened was they were running so much, so many electrical devices in their camper that it just was overloading. It couldn't cope. Yeah, alright, let's get that soldered on. I'm going to use the torch, so I'm going to turn the volume down while this is working. Nice and clean. Right, we're getting some heat into that now. A little bit more. That's those soldered on. I like to use these old irons, any old iron. Sometimes electric guns don't just put enough heat in here, especially when we've got 110 volts. Now the next thing, regulator. This here snapped the wire off here, so we know that the blue wire here goes onto this post. Now you can see there, and perhaps you can see this that snapped off, but that was on the old rectifier, so I'm not too bothered about that. But I'm going to get that off without breaking this, because what I can do is I can test it. Oh, I see, it's all turning. I'll have to find a little spanner to go inside there. Right, there we are. It seems to be coming off that post. I don't know where it goes. Right. So now we've got to work out how to put this on. Where does it go? Well, there's a long screw goes through there. I think it goes like, yeah, it does, it goes like that. So, oh, there goes the phone. Right, now fortunately I put the nuts back onto the post and I put the screw back in here, so I think I know where all this lot goes. The difficulty now is to try and get those brushes in. I could do with a little tube. I wonder if the new kit comes with a tube. No, it doesn't. Oh, that's a bummer, isn't it? The tube would have been handy to get the brushes in. See if I've got a small screwdriver. Right. Yeah, because if you had a tube we could push the brushes in, but I think this is going to work just as well. We just have to find the orientation. I have to take a nut off. I have to take that nut off. There we go. I loosened it off and forgot to take it off. Right. Take two. So we line up the bolts or the studs. Drop that down. There. Oh, that was painless, wasn't it? A little fiddly nut there. That one. So we'll start to nip them down a little bit. Fortunately, when you've got great big fingers, you can't get in to tighten them down. That one's on there. This one here. There, and then this one goes onto there. Now this wire here, as you're looking at it, Should take that off again. This wire here will only go onto that pin because it's too short to go over there, so that's alright, isn't it? Don't fall down. That, as they say, is that. Now I've got a spacer tube here, and I don't know where the hell that goes. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Where's the old one? Oh, I see. The spacer's already bolted down here. That should go into there. Oh, that threw me a little bit. Now, should we put the cover on? Then we can see our connectors. Where are they now? Oh, I see what's happening. The little wire here is holding the cover off. I don't know why. Maybe it has to go around that way. Well, I hope this works. Champion if it would, eh? So we've got the standard. There's your battery plus, D plus, and D plus, battery D plus, and this one must be for the tachometer. So, are we going to take those wires off there? Maybe not. Maybe we can get a connector onto there. Well, that's about it really. I hope that's it turns nicely. Put it in the test bench and find out. Right, light on, power on. Wow, it works, look at that. I amaze myself sometimes. Well, that's good. So there's another one come out the scrap and was working for like 20 odd bucks. Oh, I'm pleased with that. See ya.